Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to Breakfast with Bulls, where I'm going to go over the top 12 most popular stocks that everybody has been talking about. And I want to go over an exact analysis on each one of these as everybody has been talking about them. I'm going to go over SNDL, TRCH, PLUG, Skills, NAKD, Rail, UAVS, BNGO, NNDM, CLOV, SOS, PLTR, and OCGN. Now, OCGN was an amazing play that we did call out during this week, and I'm very happy about it as we did make about an 80 to 85% on that one. But I am going to go over each one of these stocks as we have been looking at these. And I do think that a lot of these could break out going into the next month. So I'm going to show you guys exactly which indicators we are going to be looking out for on those breakouts and exactly which alerts I will be setting for those breakouts. So that way we do not miss out on them. But again, much love to you guys as you guys have been showing me tons of love. And if you guys have not subscribed, we do go out Monday through Friday on entries and breakouts. So definitely subscribe if you guys want to see more entries and breakouts and alerts that we do set for every stock. So that way you guys do not miss out on them. So again, SNDL is going to be the first one that we're going to go over now. SNDL, we did see our descending wedge here, and we did break out around this point here at 76 cents. And then we did go up all the way to around $4. And we did have a huge sell-off, and we continued on to sell off. And it looks like we are coming down, testing that previous breakout point that we had talked about. Again, this was earlier in the year, so we did have a nice little bounce here. We could possibly see even more of a bounce. We're going to see if this can continue. And in my opinion, a good indication of that would be if this 20 MA crosses over the 50. This is on the 4 hours, so that would be a swing trade in my opinion if it did cross above the 50. But however, we are going to set a volume alert right above our previous volume point here. So that way, if it does break out, we will be alerted. I'm going to set it right above our previous volume point here. So that way, if it does break over this point right here, then we will be alerted. Now, in my opinion, the cannabis sector will be getting very hot in the next month or so. Again, a lot of these charts are very similar with TLRY, OGI, as they are in the same sector. So again, like I said, we're going to need that breakout above our previous volume point, and then we can check the 20 MA and the 50 MA at that point once it does break out of our alert here. So that way we can go check it. That way we don't have to stare at the stock the whole time, as I know a lot of people have been doing, I noticed. So again, TRCH, I wanted to go over it as, in my opinion, they are starting to curl up on the 20 MA. I did mention this one yesterday in a video, but I want to go over this one again. TRCH, in my opinion, has been quite the sleeper. We did see that it did bounce from our previous breakout point as well. You can see that we did break out above our previous breakout point right here. It looks like we are starting to get a nice uptrend here on the 15 minutes. So I'm going to show you guys on the 15 minute what we're looking at here. So you can see that overall on the 15 minute, it looks like we are starting to create a bullish trend, and we do have the 20 MA above the 50 on the 15 minute, and we could follow that with the 20 MA above the 50 on the 4 hour. So in my opinion, as far as a swing trade goes, we're going to be waiting for this 20 MA to break above the 50, just like on SNDL. And we are going to send a volume alert above our previous volume point as well, almost exactly like SNDL. So again, if TRCH does break above our volume point here, then in my opinion, that would give us a little bit more confirmation on a possible play. And we will be checking to see if that 20 MA does cross above the 50. In my opinion, we are going to probably have to hold over $2 on TRCH. So TRCH will definitely be on the watch, especially going into this week, in my opinion, and the following week. I do believe that this stock eventually will start to run up. So I definitely would watch out for TRCH. Now, PLUG plug, a lot of people have been sleeping on. This one has been selling off for quite a while, but I wanted to go over this one in particular because we have seen that they have created bullish divergence multiple times previously, but it looks like we created even more bullish divergence right here. You can see that the price action is actually going lower right here, as you can see. And then we have our, I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm looking at right here. So you can see the price action going lower, and then you can see the RSI going to an uptrend here. So click on this here for you guys. So you guys can see exactly what I'm looking at. So we have this price action going higher on the RSI, the relative strength index, showing us that we could possibly reverse, which we did. And we're going to see if this 20 MA can cross over the 50, just like on SNDL and TRCH. We're going to set our volume alert right above our previous volume points that we had seen. The reason why I want to set it right above this previous volume point is because if we do get by volume above this point, in my opinion, we could potentially see that run up that we're looking for on PLUG. In my opinion, plug is going to be very bullish in the future. I think these are amazing prices to be adding on. I'm not going to recommend this, but this is something I'll be doing. I do plan on entering into them this week at some point. I do want to make sure that the price action actually does consolidate above our breakout point that we are consolidating at right now. So again, I don't want this to sell off. If it did, then again, we have seen how much it has sold off previously. So I do want it to consolidate a little bit more. We could possibly see a bounce from here, and we could possibly see this 20 MA cross above the 50. But like I said, I set this volume alert here, and I also set this MACD alert here above our previous buy pressure point. So that way, if it does break out, we will catch this before it does go anywhere without us. But again, SKLZ, I want to go over as well skills. In my opinion, I did draw the Fibonacci lines here. I'm going to delete this so that way we can make it simple. So ultimately on skills, we have been having a nice bounce. We had a huge sell-off on Friday, but however, Thursday we had a nice 30% play on this. So we did bounce off of our bullish divergence here, as you can see. So again, we are going to see if this can continue with volume. It looks like we are going to need to hold above our 1935 range here. Again, ultimately, we want to break over 20, in my opinion, and hold above it and continue on with buy volume. Again, if we did start to see white shaded lines on the MACD here on the buy pressure, we could possibly see even more of a sell-off. But I do like that we have increased in buy pressure and we are looking like we're decreasing in sell pressure. Now, as long as we can continue to break out in this buy pressure and break above our buy pressure point here, in my opinion, then we could possibly see that breakout. So I will be setting an alert right here, right above our buy pressure point, because if it does reach this point, in my opinion, we'll probably see a nice run up on skills as we have seen on Thursday. So again, skills will be on the watch going into next week. In my opinion, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be swinging skills. And in my opinion, it probably will run up within the next month. So again, skills will definitely be on the watch. NAKD, I did want to go over as well. NAKD, we all know what this thing can do. We've seen this breakout all the way from 45 cents all the way up to $3.30 within a couple of days. So we are going to see if that can happen again. We are consolidating down to the side as we have been previously. You can see right here that we did do the same type of consolidation. So ultimately, we're going to see if this consolidation can continue with its pattern and possibly break out. Now, we are going to set a volume alert above our previous volume point here, so that way we can get that alert. And if anything does happen, then we will check it. So we are going to set our volume alert right above our previous buy volume right here. So that way, like I said, if it does break out, we will get that confirmation on the volume. And we're going to see if this MACD right here can give us the buy pressure that we need to break out. So again, we do have a little bit of an increase in buy pressure recently, and we do have a huge decrease in sell pressure. So in my opinion, that is why I want to keep NAKD on watch, as we could possibly see that breakout that we have been looking for. So again, NAKD will definitely be on the watch, but definitely be careful, because again, this one does like to sell off quite a bit. So I definitely would wait for that volume and buy pressure confirmation on the MACD. Now, I want to go over rail with you guys. Rail actually had a nice day on Friday. We could possibly see a continuation. We do see the 20 MA curling above the 50. This is very bullish a lot of times when we see it curling up right under the candles like this. It looks like it possibly could continue. This is on the 4 hours, so that's very bullish in my opinion. We even see buy volume increasing, or at least equal to where we saw previously. So in my opinion, if we want to set alert on this one, we could set it right above this volume point. But in my opinion, going into Monday is something that you definitely want to watch out for on rail, as in my opinion, if the 20 MA continues to curl up and the 50 MA does continue to stay below the 20, then we could potentially see a continuation going on Monday. Now, we do see also that we do need more buy pressure. Ultimately, we can see that our price action has been coming up, but our buy pressure has been pretty flat. It looks like we are decreasing in buy pressure and we're increasing in sell pressure ultimately. So we are going to need to break above our previous buy pressure point to break out of that price action, in my opinion, to give us the confirmation that we need to break above these $7.80 levels. Now, I am very bullish on rail, but I am going to be careful on this one. As I did say, it did run up on Friday, so we're going to be careful on this one. But if it does continue to run up on Monday, I will definitely scalp this play. But I would probably want to see it break over 787 ultimately, with the volume and the buy pressure that we want to see for that nice swing trade that we're looking for. But again, rail will definitely stay on the watch. I think it's going to stay on watch for the next couple of years, probably the next 4 years, as the Biden administration and rail are pretty bullish with one another. They actually go hand in hand. So we're going to definitely see if rail can continue to run up. Now, UAVS is another amazing play that I do like. I love UAVS. A lot of people have been asking, is this the time to swing? Is this the time to sell? What might happen? Because it has been selling off, and then it comes up and it rebounds pretty nicely. So what I wanted to go over with rail in particular is that, with UAVS, is that we have seen an increase in buy volume recently. So I want this to continue. I want our buy pressure to also continue on with increasing. You can see that we are continuously increasing in the last few days, and we want to see if we can break above our buy pressure point right here. So in my opinion, we're going to grab this. We're going to put this right above our buy pressure point right here. So that way we can be notified when exactly we start to increase in buy pressure, right? So if we did start to increase in buy pressure, we would get that alert, and we could possibly see a nice play going into UAVS. Now, in my opinion, UAVS is a nice long play as well. I'm not going to say that this is exactly when I'll be buying, because we could possibly see a sell-off from here if we do get below our levels here that we had seen our previous dip at. We are bouncing off of that, so we could possibly see even curl down if we don't get the volume we need, and we could possibly even come down and test these levels at $4.50, which would be pretty bad. So that's why I'm not going to be swinging UAVS at this point. But however, I do like UAVS, and we ultimately want to break over the $8.55 range, so that way we can break above this consolidation and previous sell-off point. So again, UAVS will definitely be on the watch. I like UAVS. They are going into earnings in about a few weeks. So in my opinion, they might just have a huge run up going into earnings, as the last earnings that they did have was actually super bullish, and they had about a nice 20% play after hours, I remember, on their last earnings play. So again, UAVS will definitely be on the watch. Now, BNGO is another very popular one. A lot of people have been asking about this one. We have had a nice bounce like we saw on SNDL and TRCH on our previous breakout point that you can see here. Now we're going to see if we can continue on up. We need to break above our $8.04 mark, and ultimately we need to break over $10.95, as it was a huge sell-off at that point. So again, we're going to wait for this volume to come in. We're going to put our volume alert here right above our previous volume point here. If we can't break above our volume here, in my opinion, then we probably will not see the run up that we're looking for. So ultimately, we do have very little volume. We have not got the volume we're looking for so far. And it looks like ultimately we do have an increase on sell pressure, but we also have a decrease in sell pressure. And we also see the same thing right here. We have a decrease in buy pressure. We can see an increase in buy pressure. So ultimately, it looks like we are consolidating from here. This might be a good entry spot and have a tight stop loss at around 610 if you wanted to. But however, in my opinion, I like to play on confirmation. I want to see this 20 MA start to curl up, as it looks like it is pretty flat at this point. But however, we could possibly see this cross above the 50 at some point, and we will definitely watch this for a possible breakout. I know BNGO at some point definitely will start to go crazy, so we are going to keep this one on watch. Now, the next one I want to go over is NNDM. NNDM, very similar to BNGO. A lot of times they almost move very similarly, but it looks like we are breaking, we are bouncing off of our previous sell-off point that we saw here, around $6.50. So it looks like we can possibly bounce from here and continue on. We're going to see if we can with the volume that we need. So we are going to set this alert right above our previous volume point here. We saw a nice volume spike the other day, but we need to continue on with more of that into, in my opinion, this volume point right here. So that way we can actually get more of a confirmation on a possible breakout. Now, in my opinion, if we do not get that volume that we're looking for, then I probably will not be playing into this, as the 50 MA is still holding over the 20, and it's looking pretty bearish at this point until we start to turn around. Now, I do like that it is starting to curl. It might continue to curl. We're going to see what might happen here. I would probably give it a few days to see exactly what might happen on NDM. But in my opinion, like I said, NNDM, just like BNGO, I'm very bullish on. I think ultimately the company is going to be an amazing trade, and we are going to see if it can break out. Now, I did set my buy pressure alert right here, right above our previous buy pressure point. So that way, if we did break above that, then we would be looking for that confirmation above this buy pressure point. So again, I do have an alert set, so that way we can catch this one early. And we do see ultimately the buy pressure has been increasing recently. So we're going to make sure we can continue to increase and get to this alert that we are looking for. So again, NNDM will continue to be on the watch, and that is the alert that we'll be setting, so that way we do not miss out on it. Now, CLOV has been an amazing play this week. We did talk about it on Wednesday, and it did, sure enough, did break out. So we're going to see if we can break above these volume points here. Again, going into Monday, if we are going to try to break out. But ultimately, they did have an offering, and we could possibly see even more of a sell-off on CLOV. No, I'm sorry, that was OCGN. CLOV had two nice run-ups this week, and we could possibly see this one continue to break out. We are going to need it to break above our previous volume point. In my opinion, CLOV, I think it's had quite its run already. We are going to need this to break above 1058, in my opinion. So I like the price alert even better right now. I want to see this break above 1058 before we even look at it at all. We are going to have a volume alert as well, but ultimately, in my opinion, I'm going to set this alert around 1062. So that way, if it does break above this, then we will have another breakout point that we wanted to see, just like we saw. We had an alert right above our previous breakout point right here. And we sure enough did break out and had another play on it. So you can see this is exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to see if this one can continue to break out, and CLOV will definitely be on the watch, as it has been very volatile recently, and in my opinion, could possibly continue to break out. But however, if it does not continue with that volume that we're looking for, it will continue to sell off as it has been previously. So again, be careful on CLOV. Now, I'm going to go over OCGN since we did talk about that. I wanted to go over exactly what we're going to be looking out for. So you can see that we are getting rejected where we did previously. We're going to see if we can continue. They did have an offering on Friday, and we could possibly see even more of a sell-off. But in my opinion, if you're trying to play a good COVID play that could possibly break out going into the future, in my opinion, if you want to invest in this, I would probably wait for the next dip. But however, if we do break new highs and we do break over $14 going into Monday, in my opinion, this play could possibly even go to $20 from there. So OCGN will definitely be on the watch. We're going to have this price alert set here. And also we are going to set a buy pressure point. Actually, I'm going to set this one a little lower because I'm almost expecting it to sell off based on the offering that we had. So ultimately, we want to see if we can break above this buy pressure point that we saw previously. So that way, if it does happen, then we could possibly see an increase in buy pressure at that point. But I do think that there could possibly see, we could possibly see white shaded lines coming in on Monday and possibly see a little bit more of a sell-off and maybe even a bounce from there, in my opinion. So we're going to see what happens with OCGN. We're definitely going to keep this one on watch for the next 6 months, in my opinion, as they're going to be having many more COVID news plays coming out. And OCGN, what an amazing play it was this week. I hope you guys did catch that one. There was plenty of room for this one, multiple days. I hope you guys did catch this one as the market has been on a sell-off. But I want to go over SOS as well. SOS had an amazing run up as well this week. And we have this huge gap up right here. Now we are consolidating. It looks like we're selling off. Ultimately, it looks like we do have very little volume coming in. So we are going to see if we can break out. We're going to set our volume alert right above our previous volume point right here just to see if we can get anything out of this play at some point. So ultimately, if we do not get the volume that we're looking for and we continue to be flat like we did previously back here, then we could possibly see even more of a sell-off, and it may even test our bounce right here at 327. So we are going to keep SOS on watch. Again, they do have tons of news that likes to come out, so we are going to definitely keep them on watch. Ultimately, we need to break over 622 and break out from there and give us the volume confirmation that we are looking for. So again, SOS will definitely be on the watch. We do have our MACD alert as well right here, so that way if it does break above our previous buy pressure points, then we will be alerted as quick as possible, so that way we do not miss out on it. So again, SOS definitely be on the watch. SOS is an amazing company as well. We are going to need Bitcoin to continue on up, in my opinion, as it is a Bitcoin play as well. So if Bitcoin continues to sell off, then we could pretty much almost guarantee that SOS will probably sell off as well, just like we saw on RIOT, MARA, and BTBT, EBON, all those Bitcoin stocks that we see that could possibly continue to sell off if Bitcoin continues to sell off as well. So again, PLTR, this is one of the most popular plays that we have been talking about. Now, we did say it was going to break out. This crazy. The last breakfast with bulls, I remember talking about this. If you want to go back to last Saturday, you can check it out. But I did actually mention it was going to come down, test this, and then continue to try to break out. And it sure enough did. It looks like we do have an alert set right above our point here. It looks like we're very close to it. We may just get to that point, but we are going to need this volume confirmation right here. We do have our volume alert set. So ultimately, we need to break above this volume that we have seen previously. So we are going to see if we can continue. It looks like we are bouncing just like I said we would from here, but it looks like we are going to need that volume if we're going to try to break out above into the $40 price target that we're looking for. So again, PLTR will continue to be on the watch. If anything happens there, of course, I will be posting a video on it. And lastly, that is 12 or 13 stocks, I believe. And I do want to go over Doge. I know a lot of people have been asking about Doge. I got to make a video on it. So I wanted to go over this with you guys. I'm going to draw Fibonacci lines on this one because a lot of times Doge likes to follow these fib lines. So I'm going to draw this right here so you can see. So ultimately, it looks like we need to break over. Let me see here. We need to break over. This is not the right Doge. This is Doge. Doge ET. There we go. And we need this Doge right here. This is the wrong Doge that I went to. So ultimately on Doge, we want to see this break above our Fibonacci lines here. I'm going to draw this for you guys so you guys can see what we're looking at. So ultimately, in my opinion, we need to break over this 30-cent mark. In my opinion, that 30-cent mark is very key as we had a huge sell-off at that point. We are consolidating from here. We did have a bounce from our previous breakout point that you can see. So we're going to see if we can continue on up. We're going to see if this does continue to break out. We're going to see if we can get more volume. If you guys want to set a volume alert, you guys can. Right above our previous volume point here. So ultimately, if we want to see a breakout, again, it's pretty obvious that we should probably see some type of volume that we've seen previously. So ultimately, we want to see above our previous volume point right here. And you guys can see on the buy pressure, we are increasing in buy pressure recently. We did have white shaded lines coming in, and we did see a little bit of a reversal. And that is the consolidation that we're seeing at its previous breakout point that we see right now. So we're going to see if we can break above our buy pressure point right here. So in my opinion, if we can get this buy pressure, then we could possibly see that breakout above 30 cents. So again, Doge will definitely on the watch. I'm definitely watching this throughout the weekend. I like to trade it for fun. In my opinion, I don't take Doge too serious. I do have some on the long play, but not very much at all. Again, this is not a recommendation. Doge is very, very volatile. So I definitely would be careful, even more volatile than a lot of petty stocks. So definitely be careful with Doge. But however, that is my read on Doge. I think that it needs to break over 30 cents ultimately. But again, I do appreciate all the love you guys have been showing me in the comment section. I hope you guys enjoyed our entries and breakouts every single week. And if you guys have enjoyed our Breakfast of the Bulls, I do appreciate it very much. If you guys do like the video, it does help other people find these stocks and it does help the channel grow. And I appreciate it very much. And again, God bless you guys. And I'll see you guys in the next video.